up the bottom end of the Jo, you're going to use your pinky and your ring finger to push it up like this, so that the back is going to raise up towards the back hand. And it takes a little bit of practice to get that right into your hand. Don't be surprised if you miss a couple times. But for just starters, just start to lift up the back hand, or the back end, excuse me. Lift up the back end, lift up the back end, lift up the back end, right? Once you get it in your hand, slide it all the way down to where it's going to be in the inside of your palm. Wrap ring finger, pinky, and then thumb. Those are going to be the beginning part of your grip here. And then the other two fingers, they're a little bit more just kind of directional. They help you aim where it's going, right? But your main grip is going to be between the pinky, the ring finger, and the thumb. So as here, you're going to practice rolling it up and down just to get familiar with how it moves, right? So you'll notice here, when it goes forward and turns, I want to hide my thumb so that if anything comes down on it, it's not going to slam it and hurt me. So shift, right? You roll it forward and move. As you roll it forward, both hands are going to roll forward. The back hand is going to roll into your belt, right? Or into your center. So from here, if we're sliding forward in hind knee, we're going to slide forward and offline just a little bit. This is not just a movement forward this way, because you're going to want to make this Jo have its own length in front of you. And you need to move your center out from behind it. You don't want this directly here, because if something pushes in, it's going to end up, hurting you in your guts. So from here, you're going to slide forward and offline, and then slide back. Forward and offline. And the motion here is going to be forward and offline and pushing this forward, right? Some people teach it where it's pointing up towards like this portion of the partner. Some people for practice, I would say just kind of keep it consistent with whatever you're choosing to do right now. And if you want this to just be practice of keeping it level on the horizon, just try that first. Forward, not down, but forward. Keep this in front of your belt. By the time you get to here, slide back, slide forward, slide back, slide forward and offline, slide back, okay? To switch sides, you're going to bring the length of the Jo between both hands, shift your body behind it, and then now you're facing the other direction. So there was a pivot with the feet as well. So I'm going to slide forward. This pivot is a kaiten, so you're sliding forward, pivot, and then adjusting the back foot and bringing it a little bit closer. And now it becomes the front foot, right? So again, full length of the Jo, other side. Full length of the Jo, other side. Full length of the Jo, other side. Good. From here, practice your ski again. Ski, back, ski, back, ski, back. So you're moving forward and offline and back. Again, moving forward and offline and back. Forward and offline slightly and back. Forward and offline slightly and back. Okay, to give you one more piece, adding on to that forward ski, you're going to slide offline just a little bit. Offline, block. Now I want this to be above my head. Backhand is above my head, but I don't want it too close to my head or else it's going to hurt if anything comes down on top of it. And with the the front hand, you're going to align your thumb on the length of it on one side and all your fingers are on the other side, so that if anything comes hitting down on the fingertips that you don't end up getting injured. Backhand is going to again be in this position where the pinky is going to still have some flesh on the outside of the Jo here, and you're going to use that to be able to turn. So from here, right, ski, block, not too close to your head, bend your knees underneath, and just practice kind of rotating from side to side, keeping your body underneath it. That way you can start to envision you're taking up more space. Not only are you where your skin stops, but now I have the ability to have a reach all the way to where now the Jo stops, right? So I'm expanding my space. And the work in Aikido with weapons is more so to practice extension and taking up more space and understanding different distance between objects, right? The distance between objects is going to be called our my-eye. If I'm working with a partner and there's a distance that's closing together, then my eye is very small. If I see something across the room and I know I need to pay attention to it, there's a lot more my eye. There's going to be a couple more seconds involved before it's something that I actually have to deal with. Doesn't mean that I don't stop paying attention to it. Your awareness on the horizon needs to start not only from what's in proximity, what you can actually reach with your hands, what you can actually reach once the Jo is in your hand, but it needs to go beyond that to wherever your vision can reach. Right? That's part of taking in all the information around you and figuring out how you're going to show up to it, how you're going to work with it, how you're going to flow around it, how you're going to basically orbit whatever's going on, and still know that you don't have to compromise your space just because there's something entering into it, because we have forward and offline, right? So again, you're still moving off the line of attack and you're letting the Jo maintain the line, then sliding offline and back. So if there was an incoming strike, it would be hitting the Jo, but you would be getting your body into a safe position. And then again, slide forward and ski, block, forward and ski, block. From this side, forward ski, block, forward ski, block. Now switch sides, practice on both sides. That's the beauty of the Jo, is that you can do all of these things both sides. Whereas if you were using like the sword, the bokken, typically you always are in the same position with your hands, right? And you start from right hand knee all the time, even though sometimes you are stepping forward with your left, but the hand position never changes. Now you're very flexible with the Jo, right? So if we're moving from ski, raise it all the way up, dropping the backhand straight down the length. This goes straight down, right? And then up, down, up, down, up, down. So you're feeding it through both hands in order to change the direction of one side of it. Up, here. And there's really no rules. Of course, people can teach it in certain directions, certain timing, certain progressions, but there's really no rules when it comes to how to use the Jo, because it's very, very adaptable. There's a lot of flexibility in what you want to do with it or how to use it. But ultimately, it helps you take up way more space. Okay, so going back to just let's say first lesson here. So roll forward, again, rolling that thumb over, keeping the backhand in front of your center. You moved forward and offline. Slide back, block. Slide forward, ski, back, block. Slide forward, ski, back and offline, block. Now bring it down and just switch sides. Practice both sides. Forward ski, up block, forward ski, up block, forward ski, up block. All right. Don't mind, I got to go to the wash.